pizza!
When you think of games that have been forgotten or lost to time, what might come to mind? Maybe something super obscure like Zool on Sega Genesis or a series of unfortunate events on PC. Yeah, that was a thing that existed. Or maybe you think about lost media, something like Sonic Extreme or that new Jujutsu Kaisen game. Give it some time, everybody wants to forget about that game. You might have known the games that I just talked about, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here. There aren't that many games that are truly forgotten that are out there. No matter what game you think of, it's likely that there's a decent amount of Google results for it or a YouTube video or two, but I think I might have found one game that could truly be called forgotten or lost to time, a game that you don't know about. And that game came in boxes of pizza. That's absolutely beautiful if you ask me. Now, I know what you're thinking, Toadpup, aren't you the guy who talks about horror? And I raise you this in response. There is nothing more terrifying to an Italian man than a frozen pizza. Red Baron Ace of the Sky is a PC game released in 2004 and wasn't your average PC game you could just waltz into a store and buy, because it was actually only obtainable through Red Baron pizza boxes. It was pretty similar to that old promotion where computer games were put into cereal boxes, something like Chex Quest or that one Captain Crunch game. Now at this point in the video, this is where I'd show you some promotional images, a commercial, maybe even somebody else reviewing this game, but for the life of me, I absolutely cannot find anything about this game online. Doing some fairly deep Google searching, there's really only 3 things you're gonna find. Couple Reddit threads talking about this game, 2 archival links, and links to buy it on eBay. Also, anytime I search this up, I keep getting shown things for this game called Red Wings Ace of the Sky. That's not the one I need. I need the one with thousands of hours of AOL! The only reason I know it was findable in pizza boxes was because of this single Reddit thread where someone was looking for the game. Listen, I've heard about a lot of obscure video games in my time, but goddamn, I think this game was just straight up forgotten to time. I mean, are you that surprised though? This was a boring ass PC game that was very briefly introduced in Red Baron pizza boxes in the early 2000s. I don't think many people were flocking to play this. I honestly don't even know how I knew about this game, but one day I decided to buy it on eBay. It accidentally shipped to my old dorm hall, I had to communicate with like 3 different people, and a year later, here we are. The sleeve and disc very much remind me of those old serial computer games, so I don't doubt that this wasn't a frozen pizza at one point. Also, looking at this case, it looks like Activision actually helped with publishing this. It's official, this game led to Overwatch 2. Enough gawking at the artwork, let's get into this. Is this a hidden gem that's been lost to time? Should this game stay forgotten? Will I get my $30 back that I paid for this? The answer to all those is probably no. Before the game even started, I was not having a great time. I tried downloading this game onto 3 different virtual machines, and as someone who collects old computer games, a lot of these Windows XP or 98 games just won't work on newer hardware, so normally you gotta downgrade to make it possible. No matter what I tried though, it just wouldn't want to run. I would download the game, run it, get to the opening cutscene, and then the rapture would occur. At least AOL is here to comfort me with some free hours. Thanks AOL. Turns out that the entire time I could have just downloaded this game onto my Windows 11 desktop with 0 issues. Lovely. The intro plays and we finally get to experience this masterpiece. Turns out it was developed by City Interactive, responsible for such classics like Beauty Factory and Chicken Riot. I also can't find any website that lists this game under their credits. Were they ashamed or something? This is without a doubt the coolest thing you could ever have under your belt. What's wrong with them? Anyways, the opening cutscene plays as the Red Baron welcomes you. The Red Baron was a huge figure to come out of World War I, and without a doubt was one of the biggest pilots to ever exist. It's a good thing we slapped him on some cheesy garlic bread. Anyways, the Red Baron Pizza Company also apparently has its own fleet of aviators, and this game has you joining them. Create your name, select your profile, and you're on your way to some Red Baron-y goodness. You've got quite a few options here, which is pretty cool for a random licensed game like this. You've got your accounts, the basic career mode, a combat mode, flight show, history, coming soon, and my personal favorite, the exit. I didn't even need the exit button though, because if I tabbed out at any point during this game, the whole thing would just crash. God forbid my modern gaming PC run the fucking pizza video game. Selecting flight show gives you actual footage from one of the Red Baron Pizza's flight shows that they held. I don't know if this footage is copyrighted or not, so I'm not going to show much. I don't want the Baron himself coming after me. It's a neat little bonus for those Red Baron enthusiasts out there. History is just that, a history of the Red Baron Pizza Aviators. This game likes to focus more on the flight team that this company has, rather than the pizza, but that doesn't stop them from advertising, oh god no. Anytime you go through a transition in this game, you will see a different Red Baron product from the time. It's like they're trying to brainwash me by showing quick flashing images of their food or something. The only delicious thing I want right now is a big ol' swig of gamer subs, which you can use my code TOADBUP for 10% off of your entire order. Red Baron Pizza has nothing on a tub of good, let me tell you. The last extra before we get into the main game is the coming soon option. Now, I think that this is the most interesting out of all of them for one reason only. I may have accidentally uncovered lost media. Coming soon holds a trailer for a couple other PC games, like this weird water park tycoon, but without a doubt, the most interesting trailer out of the bunch is for Red Baron Ace of the Sky 2. I bet you didn't see that shit coming. Wings of Honor was the upcoming sequel to this game, featuring even more planes and levels. Now, I don't know if I'm insane or I'm just really bad at doing research, but I swear on my life, I was not able to find any presence of this game online. I don't even know if this game ever released. There is literally no information about it. Did I just accidentally uncover a game that nobody has heard of with zero online documentation? I'm definitely adding that to my resume. I'll have the title of Red Baron in no time. So I was originally going to leave this segment here, but I dug a little deeper and I found something out. So while researching about this sequel, I found another game titled Wings of Honor, but it was also subtitled Battles of the Red Baron, so I kind of just immediately dismissed it because I thought it was going to be a thing with the Red Wings situation, where it was just a coincidence that they were titled similarly. But it turns out that this other Wings of Honor game was developed by City Interactive. Also, looking at screenshots of this game, they are very similar to the UI of the trailer I saw. So my theory is that they were originally making this game to be a tie-in with the Red Baron Pizza again, but maybe something went south and they had to cancel the deal. So they just released it on its own, changed up the title, and added a U into Honor for some reason. So technically this might not be lost media, but also there's no source proving me 100% right or wrong, or even discussing this fact at all. And there's also no sight of the Red Baron Pizza variant of this game, so I mean, I guess that's still lost media. Cry about it, I win. Anyways, on to the two main game modes, Career and Time Combat. Career is a pretty straightforward mission mode. There appears to be about 8 different missions to which you can move up ranks and get different planes by playing. The first level is the Red Baron Training Grounds. When you've got a typo before the game even starts, you know you're in for a great time. You have to take off from the airport and fly through the giant Red Baron rings hanging in the sky. I love when promotional games will just throw their logo wherever they can. It's like the game Chex Quest having nothing to do with Chex cereal, but still throwing the logo everywhere. Alright, you've got your little 3D plane. You've got your goal. It's time to fly. Wait, how do I start the plane? Okay, listen, maybe I'm just completely and utterly stupid, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to start this plane. I've tried looking at the controls, I've tried remapping the controls, I've tried pressing every single key on my keyboard in every single place on the screen, and every single camera angle you can have. Not to mention, I held down every key I possibly could while doing all of those at the same time! There's no tutorial on how to do this, there's no game manual, and there sure as hell isn't a YouTube video explaining it. I was just stuck jimmying around my wings and looking like a dumbass. The closest I got is when I went first person and looked around the inside of my plane. There's these levers and stuff that look like they can be pulled, and while I was messing around in there one time, I actually started the plane. I was in the air for about 10 seconds until it sputtered out and I was back on the floor. In total, I spent an hour messing around with this plane, and I have not been able to replicate whatever the hell it was I did. Once again, I could just be completely brain dead and missing like the most obvious thing on planet Earth. So the first person I see to tag me on Twitter with proof that you know how to start the plane reliably, I will no joke give you $10 and a thumbs up. Please, I need your help. I'm begging you. After a couple days of playing this game and just sitting in the cockpit trying to figure this out, I think I have to throw in the towel. Congratulations, Red Baron Ace of the Sky. You have broken me. Thankfully, time combat is playable, and that's actually sort of fun. Time combat is a basic dogfight game mode where you have to destroy 5 planes as fast as possible. The controls in the plane are really wonky as there's no traditional directions, but you kind of just tilt around as you move your mouse. Also, sometimes I would accidentally move my mouse too far to the right onto my second monitor, and then I would click on my second monitor, tabbing me out of the game. And you remember what happens if I tab out? The combat system is pretty standard. You got your basic shoot button and a missile button. I did not land a single missile as the plane tilting just made it too difficult to shoot exactly where I wanted to, especially with the missiles. After I practiced for a good while, I actually got the hang of shooting down other planes. My first few games, I just fly around for 8 minutes and then accidentally crash into the ground. Thank God there's not a draft anymore, or else our military would have been cooked. Anyway, shoot down all 5 planes and you'll win. Even the narrator congratulates you for shooting down a plane. He'll also congratulate you if you crash into another plane and die. Thanks, I think. Oh yeah, I also crashed into a lot of planes. Once again, do not put my ass in the military. Also, after I played this game mode one time, it gave me this certificate for some reason. I feel so accomplished right now. I ran out of ink. Outside of time combat, that's really all this game has to offer. Once again, I would have loved to cover career mode, but I guess the universe is just actively working against me and making sure that by all means necessary, I do not start that plane. I really do wish I had more to say about this game, but really, it was just a short little promo game that you got for free. Although I couldn't experience the entire game myself, it honestly wasn't the worst thing I've ever played. I could see myself killing an hour or so just playing combat mode, even if the controls are a bit wonky. If anything, the weird controls actually add to the challenge and the fun, not just spoon-feeding you a win by giving you super easy controls. For a free PC game in 2004, this could have been a lot worse, but this also really wasn't anything special. I think the fact that this game was practically forgotten to time is without a doubt the most interesting part about it. Not to mention the fact that a sequel might exist out there somewhere. Red Baron Pizza is lost media? The more I make that joke, I think lost media hunters are gonna come after me. They're gonna turn me into the lost media. Anyways, I'm glad that I was given the opportunity to be, I think, the first video on this platform to ever cover this game. It's not a good game, but its circumstances are just so interesting. And if you disagree with me on that, go ahead, tell me the next time a PC game that comes in boxes of pizza becomes completely forgotten. Here's my address, don't keep me waiting. All in all, I think it's safe to say that the pizza is way better than the video game. Wait, I don't think I've actually ever had a Red Baron pizza before. 1 second. I'd say they're about tied.
Shakes the soul and makes you feel alive.